aka Megablitz, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys some gameplay footage of me playing a deck that I believed to have been a pile. I thought this deck was awful, I thought it was bad, I did not think it was good, I thought it was a meme deck or a rogue deck at best. And a buddy of mine from my local game store, Matthew, who's actually the one who gave me this list, has been playing this deck pretty regularly for I'd probably say the last about calendar year or so, and has been playing different variants of it and such, and kept asking me and was like, hey man, you really got to give it a shot. So I did, and well, I picked up a W with it and beat a fairly competitive deck, I would say. So before we jump into that deck list though, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button, because I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. Alright, let's jump in to that deck list. Alrighty guys, and here we are with that deck list. Zorobox. Now, Zorobox is a very unique deck in how it plays, because we're playing all these Stage 1 Pokemon, but not the basic Pokemon of them. And the reason is we're trying to discard them with things like Refinement Kirlia, Zinnia's Resolve, Professor's Research, Professor Burnet, and even Ultra Ball. So I can swap them out depending on what matchup I'm in with Zoroark. Because Zoroark has an ability that says once during your turn, you may choose a Stage 1 Pokemon except Zoroark from your discard pile. If you do, discard this Pokemon on all attached cards and put the chosen Pokemon in its place. So we have all these different Stage 1 Pokemon to deal with specific decks. So Scovillain for Charizard and Roaring Moon. Oinkologne is kind of just a big body. Mightyena to deal with Mew, Jolteon to deal with Palkia and Lugia, Kleavor for Snorlax and Arceus decks. We got Flapple to deal with decks that have a lot of abilities on their side, Vaporeon to deal with like Anti-Iron Valiant, Electivire for some nice good consistent spread damage, Aerodactyl to deal with rare candy decks and make their life a little bit difficult, and Slowbro is an interesting card, because Slowbro has an attack that says you can use this attack if your opponent has exactly one prize remaining. Take 2 prizes. That's it. It's probably the most cheesiest way to win the game, I would say, in Pokemon, next to Snorlax Stall, but still goofy and feels pretty fun to play with. So, for the entire list we got here, we have 4 Zeraora, 4 Zoroark, 3 Ralts, 3 Kirlia, 1 Buddy Catch Gallade, 1 Scovillain, 1 Oinkologne EX, 1 Mightyena, 1 Jolteon, 1 Kleavor, 1 Manaphy to deal with Greninja, 1 Hisuian Basculin to get set up a little bit easier with Gallade of the Crew, 1 Flapple, 1 Vaporeon, 1 Electivire, 1 Slowbro, 1 Jirachi to deal with Sableye, 1 Aerodactyl, 3 Zinnia's Resolve, 2 Professor's Research, 1 Roxanne, 1 Boss, 1 Professor Burnet, 1 Miriam, so we don't deck ourselves towards the end of the game, because this deck can mill yourself rather quickly and not even realize it. 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Level Ball, 2 Counter Catcher, 1 Super Rod, 1 Pal Pad, 3 Artazon, 4 Reversal Energy, 2 Double Turbo Energy, and 2 Jet Energies. Now, this deck is very hard to play, I feel like. You have to think multiple turns ahead, the setup can be a little difficult, and you really need to make sure you're managing your resources properly. But when pulled off, it feels absolutely incredible, and I had so much fun playing this deck. So shout out to Matthew again. You were right, this deck is tons of fun to play and it is super rewarding. So let's jump right in to that Zorobox gameplay. Alrighty guys, and here we are with that Zorobox gameplay with our coin flip here. We do end up picking tails, and unfortunately we don't get it. However, if our opponent elects to go first, us going second, not necessarily that bad, because we will be able to use our Hisuian Basculin to gather the crew to put 2 basic Pokemon onto our bench. However, it is ideal to go first when playing Zorobox, I feel like, because you want to be able to evolve your Zeraoras into Zeraorarks and your Raltses into Kirlias. But we get the Hisuian Basculin in our hand, so it does pay off for us. And our hand isn't too bad here. We got Zeraora, we got Flapple and Aerodactyl, so we can discard them with Ultra Ball, we got Level Ball, we get a Kirlia off of that Mulligan, and we're going up against Palkia. Now, our opponent is going to be playing the 3rd place list that was taken at Regional Gdansk, that Palkia V-Star deck. That deck did incredibly well, and believe it or not, I did not believe this when I had heard it, but the person that piloted that Palkia deck beat a good handful of Miraidon decks going through that tournament, and I was like, that's absolutely insane to be pulling that off. So our opponent here are going to get a couple things set up, get that Chempao out, get the Mew out, discard some energy so they can million them back on, or Star Portal them, or anything of that nature. We're going to Level Ball, find the Ralts, Ultra Ball, discard. our Aerodactyl, and our Flapple. And I'm going to grab Manaphy. And the reason I grab Manaphy here is because I'm a little worried about a potential Radiant Greninja play. And the reason I'm worried about Radiant Greninja is because all of my basic Pokemon are going to be under 90 HP. And Zorobox is so frail at its setup that I can't have them disrupt me. So I need the Manaphy there. Because if they KO 2 Zoroarks with that Greninja, me coming back and winning the game gets really difficult really fast. Because, well, I won't be able to evolve to Zoroarks and I won't be able to Phantom Transformation. And at that point, it's pretty much just a loss. But my opponent here going to play Irida, and they are going to grab Palkia V-Star and Escape Rope. So they can evolve and then Escape Rope into that Chien-Pao to Shivery Chill and get 2 energies. They're also going to play the Minion V and grab Boss's Orders. Now, this is something that I've told a lot of people, and a lot of people should be doing this. When you're playing in a card game, and especially in a competitive scene, you really want to keep track of things like this. So my opponent can't play Boss this turn, right? Because they already played Irida. However, we know that they have Boss's Orders in their hand. So just keep track of that kind of thing. Just put it in the back of your mind. Oh, they have Boss. I know they have Boss because I grabbed it off that Luminia sign from the Luminion. So I definitely need to keep that in the back of my head going forward. So I'm going to throw out the Zoroark here. They're going to Star Portal, put 2 energies on that Chien-Pao, put 1 on the Palkia from hand, and they're going to Hail Blade for 1 energy. So they're only going to do 60 damage to the Zoroark and not KO it. We didn't get a stage 1 to a discard with our Kirlia that we had, but we do find Jirachi. And Jirachi is a bit of a dead card in this matchup. So we're going to Refinement it away. We're going to draw into Mightyena and Palpad. Now, it's not necessarily bad cards to draw into. Mightyena, sure, it can hit the MEW EX for weakness, but we really need to start churning through the deck relatively quickly at this point. We really need to start discarding things and start hopefully taking KOs relatively soon, because the longer you set up, the harder it becomes to come back and win later on in the game. Because you do want to come back from behind, because Zorobox thrives when it's coming back from behind to win games. Hence the reversal energies and the counter catchers. Alright, so we're going to put the Hisuian Basculin back up in the active spot. We're going to Refinement, discard the Mightyena, get a Roxanne and reversal energy. We're going to gather the crew and put another Zoroark on our bench. And our opponent is set up fairly well. They've already used Star Portal, but that's okay. They got 2 Palkias ready to go. They got a Chien-Pao. They got a Mew as the pivot. They've already used Luminion, but they could potentially attack with Luminion because you can Melanie the energies onto Luminion if you need to. So evolve that, Melanie, attach, draw 3 cards, and then they're going to play Collapsed Stadium. So now, Collapsed Stadium is a card that makes Zorobox a little difficult because I'm in a position where I don't really want to discard anything, but I need to discard something. So we're going to discard that Ralts there. And had they not played that Radiant Greninja onto the bench, I would have discarded Manaphy. But once I saw their Greninja, I was like, nope, you got to respect their Greninja, and I don't want the potential to just have 2 of my Pokemon get KO'd and just have them run away with this game. So they are going to KO our Zoroark here. And now we know, looking through the deck earlier, we had 3 Zoroarks in deck earlier. We have 2 in the discard pile, 1 on the bench. So we need to Super Rod them back into the deck, which we do have in our hand. So we're going to Refinement away first. This Jolteon will be very important in this matchup because you're able to hit the Palkias and the Greninja and the Ice Rider Calyrex V for weakness. So we're going to Super Rod in 2 Zoroarks and a Ralts here. And I'm going to gather the crew, putting another Zoroark onto my bench. And we're set up fairly okay. We got Boss's Orders, we got that Palpad, so I could Refinement away Boss's Orders and then just Pal Pad it back in. But they're going to boss up my Manaphy, KOing it, and I'm like, okay, well, they're in a position now where I feel like trying to attack with Greninja isn't really going to be an option. Too many energies in the discard pile. They have too many energies on board right now unless they play like an energy switch. So I feel like it was safe to counter catcher up the Greninja and just try to stall for a little bit. So we're going to Zinnia's Resolve, discarding Reversal Energy and Jet Energy. Drawing some cards. We're going to find Zeraora, Zoroark, and I have Artazon. So I'm going to Artazon, benching my last Ralts in my deck. Or sorry, not the last Ralts, but a Ralts onto the bench here. And we're going to Pal Pad back in Boss's Orders and Roxanne. The reason I don't pick Zinnia's Resolve, though, is because I already have Zinnia's Resolve back in my hand. I already have one, so I don't need another Zinnia's Resolve right now. But what I do potentially need is Boss's Orders, because I only play one copy of it, and my opponent is in Roxanne territory because they are at 3 prize cards. So Roxanne can be one of those cards where it can just kind of choke your opponent with 2 cards, and it's going to be hard for him to come back. But now our opponent has taken 4 prize cards. We are at 2 prize cards. So we really need to come back in this game. So we're going to Artazon. We're going to grab that last Ralts. And then we're going to Refinement away our Scovillain, drawing Artazon and Level Ball. So now I can Level Ball, grab a Kirlia, evolve, Refinement away another Artazon, because, well, I don't need any more Artazons. I have 3 in the deck. One's already in play, and I have 2 in my hand. And sure, I could keep the Artazons if they had played like Lost City or something to bump it, but at this point, I don't really have too many options because we're so far behind that I really need to come back and win. So we're going to evolve our Zeraora into Zoroark. We're going to Zinnia's Resolve, discarding our last Artazon, and Kleavor. So now I'm going to Phantom Transformation into Jolteon and attack with that Jolteon for weakness onto that Palkia V-Star. Because we do have Reversal Energy, and Reversal Energy is online because we are behind in prizes. So we're going to get 2 prize cards off of this. We're going to go at a nice 4-2 split, which is not too bad. They'll be able to KO it back, though, which puts them at 1 prize card. And it puts us in a really tight spot because we really need to just we need them to not have a lot of energies left, to kind of burn through their Melanies too soon, and being able to mount this huge comeback is going to be very difficult, and it's a very high mountain that we're going to have to climb to get there. So they're going to Melanie, put an energy onto the Ice Rider Calyrex V, draw 3 cards, and now we got 3 stage 1s that we can discard. I got another Refinement Kirlia, so I can Refinement away this Vaporeon, this Electivire, and the Oinkologne EX. I also have another Zeraora. I got Counter Catcher. I got the energies in my hand for any type of Pokemon right now. I got Double Turbo. I got the Jet. I got Reversal Energies. So we're ready to go. So they are going to put up that Chien-Pao EX. And they're going to Hail Blade for 120, KOing our Jolteon. So now it puts me in a position where I really have to win soon because they have 1 prize card left. Slowbro is now technically online because they have 1 prize card left, but I have 4, so it's not really going to do me any good. So we're going to Refinement away this Electivire here, then we're going to Refinement away the Oinkologne EX, and then we do Refinement away the Vaporeon as well to draw some more cards. We're going to get both Zoroarks left out of our deck to be able to evolve them here, so I can Phantom Transformation a couple times. We're going to Level Ball, just kind of look there. We see we got Slowbro left, we got some Research, we got a Burnet. Nothing really we need. We're kind of hoping for like a Miriam would be good, but unfortunately, it's in our prizes, and that's not what we want to see. So we are going to Phantom Transformation into the Electivire. And the reason I'm looking at the Oinkologne is I'm calculating how much damage this Oinkologne can do, and it can take some KOs on this Pokemon that our opponent has after I attack with Electivire. It'll be able to KO the Suicune once I go to attack. It'll be able to KO the Mew, the Greninja, and the Ice Rider Calyrex V at 160 damage. However, it will not be able to KO the Chien-Pao because it would be 10 short, and then it will not be able to KO the Palkia V-Star either. So, I really am in a position where I just need things to kind of fall in the right place, and I really need to calculate everything and just really make sure that I have all of my ducks in a perfect line. So our opponent here, gonna Lost Vacuum, ditching our stadium, just trying to thin the hand here. They got another switch in their hand to be able to switch in to that Chien-Pao EX, to be able to restart a full 3 cards, and they will be able to Shivery Chill as well. So they're gonna play that Irida first. And now, this tells me that they're looking at their deck. They're trying to see what they got left, right? So, if they don't have any energies left, they will try to find cards to put energies back into the deck. But they don't. They grabbed Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX and Cross Switcher. So they're going to be able to evolve the Ice Rider Calyrex V into VMAX to kind of counter the Oinkologne if we got to attack with it. But they're going to Cross Switcher up our Kirlia, and they're going to put up the Ice Rider Calyrex V. Now, the reason they don't evolve it here is because they don't have any energies left in the deck. Had they had energies left, then they would evolve it. But we have got them in a position where I'm able to come back and win this game. So we're going to Ultra Ball, discard that Slowbro, because it could potentially come into play later, especially before I deck myself, because I don't have Super Rod left, and I don't have Miriam, so I need to win this game soon. So we're going to Phantom Transformation, we're going to go into Oinkologne EX, and I have that Jet Energy, so I can Jet Energy the Oinkologne up into the active spot to KO the Ice Rider Calyrex V. So now we're going to Refinement away the Professor's Research, because I'm not going to need it. We draw into Reversal Energy now the Professor's Research, which is not ideal, and I can't Refinement away the Professor's Research, because then I won't have any cards left in my deck. So we're going to find into the Miriam and a Zoroark, so I can evolve the Zoroark into Zoroark, and I can Miriam as well to be able to put some things back into my deck so I don't deck myself before the end of the game, and be able to hopefully pull off this awesome comeback. We were down 4 prize cards. Being able to mount this comeback would be incredible. So our opponent here just going to kind of slink through some things. They got that Mew in the active spot because they'll be able to pivot out of it if they need to. Benching the Mew with Mysterious Tail to be able to kind of look and see if they can find any items there. But something also important to note is they still don't have any energies. They have nothing left. So they're going to Shivery Chill, fail to find, they're going to concede to us because they realize that, well, I can't take 2 hits from this Oinkologne and I can't KO it. So when I go to try to do anything, they're just going to 2-shot this Chien-Pao with their Oinkologne EX, and there's nothing I can do. So it felt absolutely awesome to be able to mount that comeback, and I was so happy that I'll be able to. So alrighty guys, let's jump right into that outro. Alrighty guys, that was absolutely awesome. If you haven't yet, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button, because I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll make sure to put this deck list description below as well, so if you guys want to try this deck out for yourself, you'll absolutely be able to. One last shout out to my buddy Matthew for hooking me up with the Zorobox list. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Alrighty guys, see you in the next one. Peace!